Hello, everybody. It's the Film Optimist. I'm going to be talking about Red State. I barely reviewed this. This is like my first review on Nick's reviews. All the reviews before that, Bill and Ted and Madagascar, were just Facebook posts, and then I made Nick's reviews at the behest of my friend Jose. Gave me the idea, so why don't you make a page? So I made a page. This is my first review, and it's not even a review. Red State. This movie is so brilliant. This is exactly why Kevin Smith is a fucking genius. It's not your run-of-the-mill slasher dasher horror flick. This movie just fucks shit up. I didn't talk about the story. I didn't talk about the characters. I didn't talk about why it was so fucking good. Kevin Smith is one of my favorite directors. And you mean to fucking tell me I didn't give him his due. I didn't I didn't So Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, Jersey Girl, Clerks 2, Zack and Mary Make a Porno, Cop Out, then Red State. Cop Out was so bad that he was like, you know what, I'm gonna stop making comedies and I'm gonna make a fucking horror movie. And he's been doing horror for the most part until Jay and Silent Bob reboot. Came out in 2011. He took that show on the road. That's the first movie he like started doing tours with and taking it on the road and talking about it beforehand, like Q&A. No, he watched the movie, then afterwards he does a Q&A. Let's talk about this shit. Bam. Teenagers Travis, Jared, and Billy Ray drive to meet a woman named Sarah in response to an invitation for group sex. Along the way, they accidentally sideswipe the parked vehicle of Sheriff Winan as Winan is engaged in sex with another man. Oh, or is it Winan? Winan returns to the station, tells Deputy Pete to go and look for the vehicle that hit his. Sarah tricks the boys into drinking drug beer and they pass out. Jared wakes up in a covered cage and realizes he is inside Five Points Trinity Church, a fanatically conservative church, after he identifies church leader and Sarah's father, Aben Cooper. Cooper begins a long, hate-filled sermon. His followers ritually murder a captive gay man and drop him into a crawl space where Travis and Billy Ray are bound together. Cooper begins preparing Jared to be murdered in the same way, but stops when he notices Pete driving up to the church. Travis and Billy Ray manage to cut themselves free, but are overheard by Sarah's husband, Caleb. Travis fails to escape his binds, so Billy Ray abandons him. Caleb chases Billy Ray into a room stocked with weapons where the two shoot each other. Pete hears the gunshots and calls Weiner for backup, but is shot and killed by Cooper's son, Mordecai. Cooper blackmails Winan, telling him to stay away or he will reveal Winan's homosexuality to his wife. Winan calls Agent Joseph Keenan of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, who begins setting up outside the church. Joseph Keenan is played by John Goodman. And Aben Cooper is played by the late Michael Parks. I didn't know Michael Parks before this movie. He was really Kevin Smith and Quentin Tarantino loved his work in so much that he was putting it from dusk till dawn, and they are both huge fans of his work before that. But even because of that, they're like, this guy has the range. Like, this guy's amazing. So Kevin Smith's like, I really would love to work with him, and he got his wish, and he's like, he eats up the fucking scenery like it's no joke. He's he's the best part. Yeah, John Goodman is John Goodman, who is pretty much amazing in everything he does. So I mean, he does good too here, but it's like Aben Cooper, holy fucking shit. And the kids are I don't whatever. Travis breaks free, arms himself, and plans to shoot the congregation, but witnesses Jared being held captive in the church. Travis instead flees the church, but is mistaken for a member by Winan and shot. Crazy fucking movie. Keenan tries to reason with the group, but Cooper shoots an ATF agent. A shootout erupts and Winan is killed. The ATF orders Keenan to stage a full military raid on their church to eliminate all witnesses. Keenan passes the order on to ATF agent Harry, who refuses. During the shootout, Sarah's daughter Cheyenne escapes and is captured by an ATF agent. Sarah kills him as he's about to shoot Cheyenne. Cheyenne returns to the house and frees Jared, begging him to help her hide the congregation's children. He refuses, and she attacks him. Sarah attacks Jared, and Cheyenne accidentally shoots and kills Sarah. Jared decides to help Cheyenne hide the children. They plead with Keenan to spare the children, but are both killed by Harry. The shootout is interrupted by a mysterious trumpet blast. The church congregation members lower their weapons and run outside rejoicing, claiming that the rapture has occurred, and they begin taunting the ATF. The film cuts to a government briefing several days later. Keenan reports that he headbutted Cooper and took the rest of the congregation into custody. He explains that the trumpet noises were a prank by a group of local college students irritated with Cooper. Keenan is promoted despite disobeying a direct order from his superiors. They explain that their initial decision to kill the members of the congregation was personal, and that they are satisfied with incarcerating the congregation without trials, upsetting Keenan. Cooper is pacing around his cell, singing and sermonizing until another prisoner tells him to shut the fuck up, which is the voice of Kevin Smith. Really funny ending. During various interactive Q&As for the film, Smith has stated that the original ending continued with the rapture happening and the four horsemen of the apocalypse descending on the scene. The way he tells it is really great. An angel, one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse, on the fucking horse with wings and great wings, plunges his sword into Abe and Cooper, and he goes, shh, and then he flies away while Agent Keenan's just like, John Goodman's just like, what the fuck? They didn't have the budget for it to pull off that CGI. That would have been fucking nuts if that happened. This was requested of me by Clinton Meaney, and he showed me this movie. I think he talked about it, and then I watched it. I watched it way before I reviewed it, I think. That doesn't make sense, though, because it came out in 2011. So I saw it a year later, and then I talked about it. But it is brilliant. You wouldn't think it was a Kevin Smith film. You're watching it, and there's just like, well, other than like the sheriff fucking a guy in a police car, getting his dick sucked in a police car, and all that shit, like the little tiny jokes here and there, and the shut the fuck up at the end, which wasn't even his idea. That stuff's very Kevin Smith, but you wouldn't think, oh, this is Clerks, this is Dogma, this is all. No, this is fucking nuts. And a lot of it has to do with Westboro Baptist Church. That was a huge inspiration for him, for Abe and Cooper. Just this crazily fanatic family that hates gays and black people and fucking just people. They just hate, and they say it's God. God makes me hate. Like, the fuck is your problem? As Red say it, one of his best films ever made. I'm gonna do a Kevin Smith ranking eventually. I'm gonna do a lot of rankings eventually, but yeah, I'm pretty pumped to talk about all of his movies. I call him I used to say he was my favorite. I would probably say he's my favorite filmmaker based on his Q&As and him as a person. I love his outlook on it. His whole why not. I've talked about that before in one of the reviews of the Bird in Hell, which I also watched with Clinton. We watched it on Netflix. But yeah, all these movies are amazing in their own hilariously funny way, and then they just get fucking bonkers after Red State with Tusk and Yoga Hosers. It's like, what the fuck is going on with this shit? But I love those movies as well. So yeah, that's my Red State review. So this is like my second ever request. No, Repo the Genetic Opera was my first request on the page, I believe. No, I don't remember. But these reviews are fucking garbage. The early ones, it's just like a tiny little, not even a paragraph. It's just like a fucking sentence, 2 sentences. And it's like, here you go, fuckers, eat it up. So you guys have a good one. Watch this film. It's a great film. And you guys take it easy.